It often staggers me just how selfish we've managed to make ourselves as a species. But whilst the subject of today's video is relatively minor in terms of news, certainly in terms of some of the other things that I choose to talk about, I just think of it as a symbol of just the way we have degenerated into a self-serving species with no long view and no consideration for the lives and people and animals around us that we affect. No, this isn't some big sort of vegan campaign. I'm talking about Dogs TV, and yes, it sounds quite frivolous, doesn't it, and throwaway at a glance, and you might wonder why the hell I'm picking up on this when there's so much else going on in the world. Because I like to look at society and societal trends and how we treat each other, and I think we can tell a lot about how we treat each other by the way we treat our animals. And the advent of Dogs TV has just made me very sad, to be honest. And in case you're unaware of it, I was thankfully unaware of it until very recently. Dogs TV does, in Ron Seal terms, exactly what it says on the tin. It is TV that is specifically created and curated for dogs. It's filmed in such a way as to be engaging from dogs. It's filmed from a dog's angle, and most of it is sort of bright colours and movements and outside spaces and stuff that dogs like, right? But they used to say, didn't they, that a dog was for life and not just for Christmas. In fact, I think they might still say that. Can I take that one step further and say, albeit very much after the fact, and unfortunately after the horse has bolted, that a dog is for life and not just for lockdown? And I'm seeing this more and more. People who got a puppy during lockdown, often paying massively over the odds to dubious breeders who didn't give a flying fuck about the welfare of the animals. They just wanted a quick cash grab, and the people buying just wanted a cute little puppy that they could take out on their government appointed daily exercise. And now we've got a nation of dogs that are left alone for vast swathes of the day because these people have now had to go back to work or go back to functioning in a, by and large, normal way. And so things like Dogs TV comes along and promises to keep your pet engaged and entertained at a time when you can't be there. How selfish are we that we can pick up and drop such a lovely innocent animal as a dog purely when it's convenient for us? When we want a bit of extra entertainment and we want the fun of taking a dog out for a walk in the lockdown of the summer, great. We'll go out and we'll happily spend a ton of money acquiring, let's face it, what a lot of people are now seeing as just a product, an accessory to our own lives and to our lifestyles, and in some cases to our image. And now we've got to go back to some semblance of normality, or maybe it's simply that the novelty has worn off, and what do? We find a simple technological solution to sedate, shall we say, said dog. Now, dogs are one of the simplest animals that I know, and that's of no disrespect to them at all, because they have some amazing traits. They don't ask for much, they don't need much. They need walking, they need love, and they need feeding. And if you walk them enough and you love them enough, then they will sedate themselves. You only have to see a dog on the way back from its last walk of the day when it looks tired, but it looks happy, and you know it's going to go home, have a treat, and curl up and go to sleep. Dogs do not require much. They certainly don't require mental stimulation in the form of TV or of, whatever technological dopamine-based hits that us humans lap up, if you pardon the pun. But why should I be surprised? Because certain people and certain groups of people have been doing this with children for years. Having kids because they think it's going to be fun and one long happy memory, and visions of family Christmases and birthdays and holidays and happy smiling social media ready snippets, photographs, snapshots of happy family life. And when normal, everyday mundanity, which makes up the vast majority of our lives, somehow gets in the way, because it does, and because that's what life is like, what do? We find a technological babysitter. We find a way of keeping them engaged and, most importantly, keeping them quiet when they are not suited to our lives. We're not willing, as people are now not with these lockdown puppies, they're not willing to put in the time and effort to not only ensure that in the case of children they grow up to be well-rounded, respectful, educated individuals, but they have no interest in the mental welfare of the child or the dog. They are happy to keep them engaged with addictive, harmful, highly stimulating material from devices, iPads, TVs, rather than have to actually provide the base level interaction that both our dogs and our children need. So how selfish are we now that we will happily get our dogs potentially addicted to bright colours and dopamine hits when all they want is a walk in the park, a run along the beach, to find a stick and to wear themselves out in an organic and natural way, and then come home knowing that they're loved and falling asleep. But no, that doesn't suit us, does it? So we'll just happily pick them up, drop them, and let's just wait for the inundation at Battersea and all the other dogs' homes of all these sort of 2-year-old dogs that are no longer fit in with our lifestyle, so we had to give them up. Selfish bastards. The rest of you, stay safe and staying. If you are one of these selfish bastards, fuck off.